you are watching the latest edition of DBE TV News either on OpenView Channel 122, on the DBE YouTube channel or on BRICS TV Channel 509 Starset. Welcome. My name is Tshegohatso Moagi. In the news this week, Global Hand Washing Day takes place on the 15th of October. And in light of this, Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule handed over a hand washing station in Mpumalanga. Do you need a second chance to write your matric exams and get the marks you want? Well, applications are now open for the Second Chance program. This bulletin has more information. Applications for the Funza Lushaka bursary program are also open. This program aims to promote teaching as a profession. The General Education Certificate is currently being piloted to be rolled out fully from 2023. Not too sure what this is about? Stay tuned for more information. And exciting news for learners in the Eastern Cape. The Kofimbaba Science Centre has been launched. This is in a bid to encourage more learners to take up science as a subject, and other resources are available for them. Remember to get in touch with us by using our social media platforms. On Twitter at DBE_SA and at DBE TV News, Facebook DBESA, Instagram DBESA. You can use the hashtag DBE News. Global Hand Washing Day takes place annually on the 15th of October. To commemorate it this year, the Basic Education Minister, Dr. Regina Mhaule, handed over a new hand washing station at Kayaza Secondary School in Hazy View in Mpumalanga. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of washing our hands, and the theme for this year's Global Hand Washing Day is Our Future is at Hand. Let's move forward together. Our reporter Robinson Ngola filed this report.
Basic Education Deputy Minister Dr. Regina Mhaule has emphasized the importance of hand washing and for schools to have hand washing stations. She was speaking at the official handover of the hand washing station at Kayaza Secondary School in Mpumalanga.
And with this new hand washing station at your school, I believe that we can all move forward together more safely. So please don't forget to wash your hands with soap for 20 seconds. Washing hands for 2 minutes or for 2 seconds, those hands are not clean because there are other parts of the hands that we have not touched.
This hand washing station is the newest of 24 that have been installed by Woolworths Foundation and UNICEF SA in 17 schools across the provinces of Gauteng, Northwest and Mpumalanga since the outbreak of the COVID-19.
Global Hand Washing Day is an annual day dedicated to reminding people about the importance of hand washing with soap as an easy, effective and cheap way to prevent diseases and save lives.
This has been reiterated by UNICEF South Africa, which believes that such initiatives will assist to curb the learning losses experienced due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Children, learners, educators, as they come into the school, they'll be able to hand wash as they are in the premises of the school, when they come back from toilets, before they eat, after they've eaten, before they shake hands. It's not only important for their hygiene, to prevent the spread of the pandemic, the virus during these times of pandemic, but also to make sure that the school remains open. There's been so much learning loss during this past 1.5 years during the pandemic. It is very important that infrastructure such as this one be here.
It is hoped that this hand washing station will remind and encourage learners to wash their hands regularly.
The hand washing station would obviously contribute in the hygiene of the school, but also will build change in behavior and also start to inculcate habits, good habits for the kids, habits of washing hands, for years to come as they go into their adulthood. So it's good that it's done in schools.
The Deputy Minister has welcomed initiatives and partnerships such as these, saying they are building the future of the country.
The future of our nation's children depends on interventions such as this to bring about fundamental behavior behavioral change. Let us continue to spread the important message of hand washing with soap regularly, today and every day.
Robinson Ngola, Hazy View in Mpumalanga.
Stay tuned. After the break, we get more information about the Second Chance program and the Funza Lushaka bursary program.
Hello, my name is Kabelo Habile. I am a grade 12 student at Willoughby Secondary School. As we celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child, South Africa also recognizes the great contribution made to women's lives by the struggle icon and human rights campaigner, Charlotte Maxeke. Today, I'll be speaking about school safety, violence, drugs, and substance abuse in schools. School violence is escalating despite the measures put in place by government to address it. Schools are rapidly and increasingly becoming arenas of violence, which impacts negatively on teaching and learning. Violence has become a part of everyday life in some schools, and the use of violence to resolve conflicts has been normalized. It is time for all children to come together to advocate for safer school environments in order to realize our right to quality and inclusive education for all. This country has experienced colonization and apartheid, and as a result, South Africans continue to live with a legacy of violence. This legacy and the normalization of violence leads directly to situations where gangsters rob schools, harming school staff, security guards, and sometimes even students in the process. Every child should feel safe from violence while at school, but how can we? There is also the issue of drug and substance abuse in our schools. A study on drug and substance abuse among secondary school learners revealed that most learners in Gauteng start to use drugs between the ages of 13 and 14, mainly for enjoyment, stress relief, and to enhance performance at school. The use of drugs and substances affect negatively on all the great contributions our struggle icons like Umam Charlotte Maxeke made to ensure that we attend school despite the adversities we face in life. Umam Charlotte Maxeke is one of the most significant figures in the history of South Africa, and young people, especially young girls, should look up to her with dreams of amounting to something great one day. The government should help continue her legacy by introducing measures in schools that will stop learners from getting into drug and substances abuse. We need measures that will encourage learners to stay in school and get education. Yes, I know that as young people we often lose focus to please our friends, to fit in, but I'd like to reassure you that you are special the way you are. You don't need to risk your life to please people or to feel loved. Drugs and substance abuse and violence in schools, all these are multifaceted problems. Effective interventions are needed to prevent these problems. A partnership between parents, learners, school governing bodies, and communities should be formed to address drugs, substance abuse, and violence in schools. Government has a clear role to play in convening these interested parties, and actions such as strengthening community policing forums could have a positive impact. Schools are centers of communities across the country, and it is clear that the violence we experience on school grounds is symptomatic of our violent society. All these problems can be prevented in schools if we all work together towards prioritizing safety. The values which many good, hard-working police officers uphold should be taught in schools, particularly integrity, respect for diversity, and obedience of the law. What is needed is a shift in mindset, where these values are lived values. Resources should be shifted to where they are needed most. Children who have experienced violence at home must be given access to educational psychologists to provide psychosocial support. Safe and drug-free schools are where students can learn effectively. Our schools can become a safe haven for effective learning to take place. Let's make schools centers of excellence, not violence or drug hubs. Sizonqoba, we will conquer because we are conquerors. Thank you.
Welcome back. Applications to register for the Second Chance program are now open. The aim of the program is to provide support to learners who have not been able to meet the requirements of the National Senior Certificate or the Extended Senior Certificate. Various study material will be given to each learner to ensure they receive their desired matric mark. Registration will close on the 31st of January 2022.
You are allowed to register from the 1st of October 2021 until the 31st of January 2022. What do you require to register? You need your ID copy as well as your matric certificate or statement of results. Who's qualified for this program? Young people who have attempted matric and they want to improve their subjects. Number two, young people who have never achieved matric, they went in, they wrote, but they did not perform well. Number three, the young people who are 21 years of age and above, and they have grade 9 as a minimum. So this group, the third group, to register you need an ID, your grade 9 report, or grade 10 report, or grade 11 report. Where do you register? There are two ways to register. You can register at the district office close to you, anywhere in the country. You may also register online at the Second Chance Matric program. Now, after registration, what happens? After registration, the department supports you in 4 areas. Number one, we're broadcasting our programs through television and radio. Number two, programs, the resources are available online. The three, the department print out material such as the old question papers and study material that are delivered to you to study at your own pace. Number four, there are classes that are taking place in selected places throughout the country. For more information about this program, kindly check out the Second Chance Matric website and also visit your district office.
On to this now. The recently held National Teachers Awards included a prize where teachers needed to identify a learner that would win a Funza Lushaka bursary. This is a multi-year program to promote teaching as a profession. The bursary covers tuition fees, accommodation including meals, books and learning materials, and a small allowance for monthly living expenses. Recipients of these bursaries will be required to teach at a public school for the duration of their bursary offering.
For one to qualify for the bursary, he needs to have grade 12 and a pass with a bachelor pass. He must be 30 years and below. If he is already enrolled at the university or higher education of institution, he should pass all his previous year modules. There are priority subject areas that we want for this particular bursary. Amongst them are subjects such as mathematics, science, and technology. In addition, provincial education departments also have their own priority subject areas. They prioritize these particular subjects through the profiling of teachers that are likely to retire in the next 5 years and use those subjects that those teachers qualified in order to create a provincial priority subject areas. There are selection processes that happens for one to be awarded the bursary. There are committees that are formed through various stakeholders. In these stakeholders, DBE is involved, the provinces are involved, as well as the higher education institutions officials. The committee decides who should be awarded the bursary based on the set requirements. Universities or HIs are responsible to notify the applicants about the outcome of the selections.
Applications for the Funza Lushaka bursary are currently open for those who fit the criteria.
Normally or annually, we open it on the 1st of October and closes at the end of January. But those who are to be re-awarded the bursary, we open the online application for them on the 1st of October every year and closes it on the 29th of November, which means they've got only 2 months to reapply.
After the break, we hear more about the department's plans to roll out the General Education Certificate by 2023.
My name is Nyasha Mazarura. I'm a grade 11 learner at St. Mary's School. I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe. As we celebrate the International Day of the Girl Child, South Africa also recognizes the great contribution made by the struggle icon and human rights campaigner Charlotte Maxeke in women's lives in and outside South Africa. Today, I will be speaking about the impacts on mental health and xenophobia. The girl child is viewed as fragile and in need of protection. Our society sees the girl child as someone who must be decorated with sanitized, dainty language, as someone who can have glistening ambition, but within the confines of reason, as someone with a polished brain, shaped for new and improved boxes, shaped for them by men. Former Miss South Africa, Zozibini Tunzi, encourages young girls to take up space and cement themselves. But this becomes challenging when one battles with their perception of self, as all girls in a patriarchal society do. As a Zimbabwean, intertwined with my perception of self as a girl is the feeling of being culturally misplaced. To fit in, I must adopt the behavioral patterns of native South Africans because I am in their country. South Africa's xenophobic climate says that if I fail to do this, I am inferior. What I express is inferior. Who I am is inferior. The way my tongue lingers on certain consonants, like my mother's. The way I understand the traditions of my Zimbabwean clan. These are somehow things which are right at home, but wrong at school. We live in a world of 2.0s, a world in which the revolution is being televised, where feminism can exist vastly, where we as women and girls can exist vastly. The digital age has helped students to define their experiences beyond textbooks and to reimagine their realities, often in contexts our education system hasn't even thought of. But the digital age has also meant that I have seen every xenophobic killing since 2009. I have lived them vicariously through the screen. I have felt the phantom pain of those victims' wounds and the emotional pain of an attack on my inner Zimbabwean child that sits behind my assimilated self. In order to feel worthy as an immigrant, we must be excellent. Iron-fisted sisters fought for me to be here as a girl. My mother fought for me to be here as a Zimbabwean. She is either excellent or she is other. She can never just hold space to be. I call for government to see my experience and educate around diverse African cultural dynamics.
Sanbonani, to the class of Matric 2021, want to wish you well. You have been trying very hard in this year, though things are not fine, but this is a normal way of living under COVID-19. So continue to come to school every day as you were doing since beginning of the year. Continue writing your homeworks. Don't go to bed without opening a book. Listen to your teachers, ask them questions where you don't understand. Use previous question papers, especially when you form study groups. And please, don't be selfish, share with others, and that helps you understand better when you become part of the group. But above all, let's remember that COVID-19 is still with us. Let's adhere to all the health protocols of social distancing, washing of hands, and stay safe.
Welcome back. The Basic Education Department is piloting the rollout of the General Education Certificate. This certificate, which will be given to grade 9 learners, is expected to address the current problem of hundreds of young people leaving the education system each year with no national qualification, hindering them from navigating the labor market. The GEC certificate is predicated on the 3-stream model, which has the academic pathway, the technical vocational pathway, and the technical or occupational pathway. The department says offering a GEC is not an indication of the exit of learners from a learning pathway in schools, but that it provides better decision-making for access to further learning after grade 9. The General Education Certificate will be rolled out fully from 2023.
Later this year, in 2021, we want to pilot an assessment model, which is a very innovative and exciting approach to assessment. It breaks away from traditional examinations and just summative forms of assessment to understand a more complete picture of learners' capabilities. So we will be bringing into the assessment model innovative project-based assessments, which will cut across not only one subject but different subjects, looking at how learners integrate information across different subject areas in order to solve a particular problem. We will also be introducing, as part of the GEC, an inclinations assessment, which looks at learners' self-knowledge. What are their attributes? What are their inclinations in terms of career pathing? What are they good at? And what are they will be more comfortable in choosing as a specific pathway? So in addition, we will also maintain the curriculum standard testing, so that is not lost. But when we put all these elements together, we will be able to create an exciting dashboard of a more holistic picture of this learner, who at the end of grade 9 has to choose a specific pathway.
And some great news from the Eastern Cape to end off this week's bulletin. The Tofimvaba Science Centre has been launched. This milestone was made possible by various partnerships between the Basic Education Department, the Provincial Education Department, as well as the Department of Science and Innovation, CSIR, and the local Intsiga Yethu municipality. The Science Centre will address learners' lack of exposure to practical science experiments by incorporating fully equipped laboratories for life sciences, physics, chemistry, and agricultural sciences. MEC for the Eastern Cape Education Department, Fundile Gade, says he is thrilled that the centre is now up and running.
I am briefed that it can take not less than 10,000 schools in terms of its own capacity, in terms of connectivity. Whilst we do have less than 5,000 now institutions of learning in the province. So we are one of the provinces that have got a massive participation of maths and science in the country. So this center comes handy and is going to assist us in improving the maths and science performance of the province. But also critically to it, which I also welcome to whoever have designed the concept and the content of what should be done inside, is the appreciation of the language and culture, tradition, and their impact in the development of the society in general.
That brings us to the end of this week's news roundup on Channel 122 on OpenView. on YouTube and on BRICS TV channel 509 Starset. Until next time, it's goodbye from myself, Tsehoha Jomo Ahi, and the entire team. Thank you for watching.